Hello friends, how are you all? Hope that you all are fine as well as healthy. We are learning biology, chapter number 13, organism and populations. So in this chapter, in last lecture, we have completed the first portion of the important question which is known as population attributes, and today we are going to learn about the second portion, means second part of the same question which is known as population attributes. But before starting second part, we are going to revise the portion number 1, population attributes. In the first portion of population attributes, we have talked about the different type of parameters or different type of characteristic found in a particular population. So first point, we know that in nature we rarely find isolated single individuals of any species. Okay, so majority of them, means majority of the living organisms like to live in group in a well defined geographical area, means maximum organisms are like to live in a special type of geographical area, means special type of ecosystem, special type of habitat. Okay, in population they are sharing something, they are doing competition for the similar resources. Okay, potentially interbreed and thus constitute a population. So in a population, organisms are doing competition, they are doing some sharing. Okay, they are doing interbreeding. Okay, interbreeding is one type of sexual reproduction, although the term interbreeding implies for the sexual type of reproduction. It means the interbreeding term is connected with the sexual type of reproduction, but we can say that if we talk about the organisms which are produced or which are originated or which are resulting from the asexual reproduction are also considered as a population according to purpose of the ecological studies. It means in ecological studies the organism of asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction both will be equal. Okay, both having equal type of priority and both are included in what, both are included in the population. So again I am going to revise this according to purpose of ecological studies. According to purpose of ecological studies, an individual organism resulting, means produced from either asexual or sexual reproduction generally considered as a population. Now we have the total 5 examples of different type of population. First one is cormorants, means one type of aquatic bird found in a wetland area. Then rats found in abundant dwelling area. Then teakwood trees found in a forest track. Then bacteria found in a culture plate. And last one is about the lotus plant found in a pond. You know that the pond is one type of freshwater ecosystem. These all are the some examples of population. Now see, in earlier chapters you have learned that although an individual organism is the one that has to cope with a changed environment, so we know that if we talk about the individual organism, so individual organism having so many problems, okay, from the surrounding environments, and they are facing so many different type of problems, because you know that the environment is not constant, environment is going to be changed day by day, season by season. So we know that the individual organism is the one that has to cope with a changed environment. If we talk about the population level, it is at the population level that natural selection operates to evolve the desired traits. It means if we are going to talk about the population, then natural selection is important. You know that the natural selection, it is one type of theory. According to natural selection, desired traits, means desired character, desired means what, desired means selected characters will be there. So we can say that we have the comparison between what and what, between an individual organism and a population. You will remember individual organism has to cope means one type of fight with a changed environment, while if we talk about that population level, at population level natural selection operate to evolve the desired traits. Now see, this sentence is very much important. If we talk about the population ecology is therefore an important area because it links ecology to population genetics as well as evolution. So we are talking about the population ecology. So population ecology is one type of very important area in our science. Why? Because it means what? It means we can say that the population ecology links ecology to population genetics as well as evolution. So two different type of criteria are there. First one is population genetics and second one is about the evolution. Okay, so this paragraph is also completed. Now if we talk about the next one, okay, next one is also important. A population has certain attributes, okay, whereas an individual organism does not. So if we are going to talk about the attributes, means characteristic of population and individuals, in short we are doing comparison of a particular individual, means individual organism as well as population. So it is possible that population having so many characteristic or attributes, while individual organism doesn't having this type of same attributes. See, an individual may have births and deaths, but a population has birth rate as well as death rates. Okay, so for example we can say that if we talk about the individuals having births as well as death, while the world population having what and what, the world population having birth rate and death rate. So you will remember, birth rate and death rates are the parameters or the attributes of a world population, while births and deaths are the parameters or attributes of a individual organism. In a population, these rates refer to per capita birth and deaths. Now see, the rates hence expressed are changed in numbers, increases or decreases. You know that the numbers of living organism, means numbers of living organism in a particular population will not be same. It will be changed, either increasing or decreasing with respect to members of population. Okay, now see, we have the two examples. You know that the two example of the birth rate as well as death rate. Here is an example. If in a pond there were 20 lotus plant last year, and through sexual type of reproduction 8 new plants are added. Okay, so before the number of plants were 20 and now 8 plants are going to be added. So total number 20 plus 8 is equal to 28. But if we are going to find, or if we are going to calculate the birth rate, then what is the equation? The birth rate is equal to number of newly adding organism upon number of the organism before. So 8 upon 20 is equal to 0.4 individual, means 0.4 offspring per lotus per year. Okay, so lotus per year is an important unit. Okay, you will remember per year. Now we have the second example. If 4 individuals in a laboratory population of the 40 fruit flies die during the specific time interval, say a week, like a week, the death rate will be what? So we can say that the before number were 40 and the death of 4 fruit fly was there. Okay, and now the numbers are 40 minus 4 is equal to 36. So if we are going to find the death rate, then you can say that death rate is equal to what? Death rate is equal to number of organism which are going to be dead upon number of organism before. So death rate is equal to 4 upon 40 is equal to 0.1 individual per fruit fly per week. Okay, so two attributes or the two parameters or the two characters of populations were there. First one was the birth rate and second one about the death rate. Okay, we are talking about the attributes, means parameter, means characters of the population. Now see, if we are going to talk about the another parameter, another attribute characteristic of a population is the sex ratio. So you will remember third one is about the sex ratio. An individual is either a male or a female. Okay, so either a male or a female, but a population having a sex ratio. For example, if we have the 100 individual and out of 100 60 will be female and 40 will be male, then ratio will be 60 is to 40, means 60% of population are female and 40% of the males. Okay, so third parameter or third attribute is about the sex ratio. You will remember this. And if we talk about the last one, fourth one, you know that the age pyramid. Okay, so population at any given time is composed of individuals of different type of ages. So we know that if we are talking about one family having a 10 member, then the age of all 10 members will not be same. Okay, some members are between 10 to 50, some are above 15 and some are below the 10 years old. Okay, if the age distribution is plotted for the population, the resulting structure is known as the age pyramid. Okay, for human population, the age pyramid generally show the age distribution of male and female. So in human population, we are considering or we are taking the age distribution of the male as well as female. Now see, the shape of pyramids are important. You have the three pyramids in the diagram. Figure number 13.4, representation of age pyramid for the human population. The first one is see expanding, second one is stable, third one is declining, and three categories are there: post reproductive, reproductive, and pre-reproductive. We can include the different type of ages in this type of categories. See why first pyramid is expanding, because see the line yellow and the line blue. Yellow is larger than blue, while see in second pyramid both lines are equal, and third pyramid yellow is lower. Okay, yellow is shorter compared to the blue. So these are the different type of parameters. So in part 1 we have talked about the total 4 parameters. First one is birth rate, second one is about the death rate, third one is about the sex ratio, and fourth one is about the age pyramid. Now if we talk about the part number 2, see in part number 2 there are no any important concepts. Okay, only some type of theories are there. So part number 2 is not important compared to the part number 1. See first point, the size of the population tells us a lot about its status in the habitat. So if we are going to talk about the size of population, for example, we can say that in Gujarat state there are more than 500 lions, but in Jammu and Kashmir state we can say that there are 0 lions. So if we are going to talk about the status of population, so we are talking about the status of lion population. So we can say that in Gujarat 500 lions are there, while in Jammu and Kashmir lions will be 0. So with the help of the size of population we can say about the status of this particular habitat. So we can say that Gujarat is a suitable habitat for Asiatic lion, while Jammu and Kashmir is not suitable habitat. Okay. Point number 2, whatever ecological processes we wish to investigate in a population, be it the outcome of competition with another species, the impact of a predator, effect of a pesticide application. It means you know that the ecology is one type of very interesting subject, and some researchers or some people are really interested to do some research, okay, in this particular field. But you know that if we talk about the some investigation or some changes, then outcome will be what? Outcome will be the competition with another species. You know that the one species is doing competition one species is doing competition with the another species. For example, if there is a forest and in forest only one river is there, so for water there will be a competition, okay, between different type of carnivorous as well as herbivorous organism. So it is one type of competition. If we talk about the impact of predator, you know the prey predator relationship. So this will be also important characteristic. And last one is the effect of a pesticide application. So pesticide means what? Okay, what is the meaning of pest? Pest is one type of insect or organism which is not useful, means harmful in a field, okay, or in a farm. So it is known as pest. So you know that the farmers don't want to stay with pest. Okay, farmer wants to remove the particular pest. So for the removing of pest from the farm, pesticide will be used. It is one type of insecticide. Okay, so we can say that if we are talking about the one farm and one farm having the crop of rice, okay, we are talking about the rice crop, and in this rice crop there is a pest of rice which is known as rice weevil is there. So for example, if 100 individual of rice weevil is there, then we can say that if we are using the pesticide application or pesticide practice, then we are going to remove all. So with the help of pesticide it will be directly affected, okay, of the population of the rice weevil. So second point is about it. Now see third one, last point of second one, we have always evaluate them in terms of any changes in population size. So it means if the size will be changed, it means we can say that there are some changes are found. Now see point number 3 is one type of example. If we talk about the size of population, see we are comparing the two different type of population in a particular nature. See first one, if we talk about the population of Siberian crane, so we are talking about the one type of migratory birds, and the name will be the Siberian crane. Location will be Bharatpur wetland. So in a year, the population of Siberian crane will be lesser than 10. Okay, it means no more 10 Siberian crane will be there in Bharatpur wetland in any year. So the population of this particular organism will be lesser than 10, means it may be 5 or it may be 9 or it may be 10. Okay, but not more than 10. So it is one type of a small population. But now if we are going to talk about the large population, the name of organism of population which is known as Chlamydomonas. You know that Chlamydomonas is one type of algae, and the location of Chlamydomonas will be pond, which is one type of freshwater habitat, freshwater ecosystem, and numbers will be in millions. So now see, we have the two different type of organisms in two different type of locations, like Siberian cranes at Bharatpur and Chlamydomonas in a pond, but see the number of both individuals will be different. So we can say that number of the Siberian crane will be lesser than 0, while number of Chlamydomonas will be in millions, but both are known as population. We can say that Siberian cranes having a small population while Chlamydomonas having the large population. You can say that Chlamydomonas is one type of autotrophic algae. You know that it is able to do photosynthesis by itself. Okay, so you can say that Chlamydomonas one type of algae able to prepare their food by themselves. So point number 3 is one type of comparison. Point number 4 is also important. See, population size. So you know that population size means we are talking about the numbers. Okay, we are talking about the numbers of individuals. See, if population having 10 individuals, the population size will be smaller. If population having the 100 or 1000 individual, the size of population will be larger. Population size technically called or technically known as population density. So now we have the very important word which is known as population density. Okay, again, what is the meaning of population density? We can say that population size technically called as population density, and the sign of population density is capital N. Okay, so from now we will talk about the population density. We are not using word population size. Okay, again, number of individuals will determine the population size, and now population size is technically known as population density. And population density is important concept. We will talk about this concept in the next question, but from now you will remember population density, and the sign means designation of population density will be capital N. So you will remember capital N is what? Capital N is the sign of population density. Now see next one. Population density need not to necessarily be measured in numbers only. So if we are going to measure the population, then we don't have only one parameter like numbers. Okay, we can use the different parameters like the biomass or the, you can say that energy. You know the pyramids. So three type of pyramids are there: pyramids of number, pyramids of biomass, and pyramids of energy. So biomass is also a better option, but we can say that population density need not to necessarily be measured in a population numbers. Okay, so this page is completed. We are going to revise this page. Okay, first point, we can say that the size of the population tells us a lot about its status in a particular habitat. Point number 2, whatever ecological processes we wish to investigate in a population, be it to outcome of competition with another species, the impact of a predator means prey-predator relationship, effect of a pesticide application, we have always evaluated them in terms of any change in the population size. Okay, point number 3 is very important. We have the comparison of two different type of population, one having the members less than 10 and other having the members in millions. Okay, you will remember Siberian cranes and the Chlamydomonas found in pond. Now population size technically known as the population density, and the sign will be capital N. It is not needed, then we are only considering the numbers, okay, for the measurement of population density. So this page is completed. Now if we talk about the next one, point number 5, although the total number is generally the most appropriate measure of population density, it is in some cases either meaningless or difficult to determine. See, if we talk about the numbers, So you want to determine the population density. Okay, what you want to determine, or you want to measure the population density. So generally in normal condition it is very appropriate measurement, means it is very perfect measurement, because from number we can say that either population is larger or smaller. For example, we have numbers like 10, population will be smaller. We have number like millions, population will be larger. But in some cases, okay, it means what? It means in some cases it means the numbers is either meaningless or difficult to determine. Okay, so let's talk about this type of case. Point number 6. See, in an area, in a particular habitat, in a particular ecosystem, we have the two different type of organism. First organism is a Parthenium plant, which is one type of grass. Okay, and second organism is a huge banyan tree. Okay, so in one region, in a one area, two different type of organisms are there. First one which is known as Parthenium plants, and second one which is known as huge banyan tree. But if we talk about the numbers of both, the numbers of Parthenium plants will be 200, means 200. Okay, while the number of huge banyan tree is only 1. It means, see, we can say that we have one type of population, but if we are taking or we are considering the numbers, then Parthenium plants are higher in number. See, Parthenium plants are 200 in numbers compared to the banyan tree, while banyan tree is only 1. So we can say that numbers are higher, okay, of the Parthenium plants compared to the banyan tree. It means we can neglect the banyan tree if we are going with numbers. Okay, see, numbers, population density of banyan tree is very much low relative to the Parthenium amounts, because you know that the Partheniums having the 200 in numbers, while banyan tree having the only 1 in number. So in this type of area, percent cover or biomass is more meaningful measure of the population size. See, if we are going with the biomass, then the biomass of one huge banyan tree is very much higher compared to the 200 Parthenium plants. So yes, it is possible, it is true that Parthenium plants are higher in numbers, but according to biomass, banyan tree is higher. Okay, so in this type of area, in this type of case, what underline percent cover, it is one type of MCQ. Percent cover or the biomass, okay, is more meaningful measure of the population size. So in this type of condition we can use this type of phenomenon, okay, this type of parameters. See, generally numbers will be used, you will remember, but sometimes in this type of cases we are not going to use numbers, because if we are going to use numbers, the answer will be not proper, answer will be not sure. Okay, so for the meaningful measurement we are going to use the biomass or the percent cover. Underline this, both are MCQ, biomass or the percent cover. Okay, see the last one, the total number is again not easily adopted measure if the population is huge and counting is impossible or very time consuming. Okay, for example, if we are going to count the bacteria in a pond, it is like we are counting our hairs. Okay, so it is nearly impossible. So if we have some conditions like this, if we have the very huge population, in this type of population counting is nearly impossible, or if counting is possible then it is very time consuming, then we can say that the number is again not suitable parameter. Okay, so yes, normally we are going to use the number as parameter, but what about if population is very huge and counting is impossible and it is very time consuming? So in short, we can say that for population density in normal condition we are using the numbers, but if the conditions are not favorable, means in unfavorable conditions like population is very much huge or the counting is nearly impossible or counting is time consuming, then we are going to use about the another parameters like the biomass. Okay, so this page is again completed. Point number 5, you know that. Point number 6, there is an example, you will remember Parthenium plant. Okay, it is known as the carrot grass, you will remember this, and the comparison between Parthenium plant and huge banyan tree, numbers are different. Okay, then we can say that we are not going with numbers in this particular case, but we are going with the biomass. Okay, so this page is also completed. Now if we talk about the last paragraph, sometimes for certain ecological investigations there is no need to know about the absolute population densities, so relative densities serve the purpose equally as well. So we can say that there are two types of population density. First one, we can say that absolute population density, and second one, which is known as the relative density. Okay, so sometimes it is possible that if we are doing the certain ecological investigation, then we are not capable for doing absolute population density, then it is also possible that we can use what, we can use the relative densities. It means if the use of absolute population density is not possible, then we can use what, we can use the relative population density. Okay, so the purpose equally well, means the important or the purpose of the both will be equal. Okay, point number 2, see one example. For example, the number of fish caught per trip is good enough measure of its total population density in a lake. See, if we want to count the number of fish in a one pond or one lake, then it is nearly impossible, because we cannot count the each and every fish of the lake. But what we are doing, what we are catching the fish, okay, per trap. So from this we can get the relative measurement. Okay, so we are using this method with the help of relative density. Point number 3, we are mostly obliged to estimate population size indirectly without actually counting them on the seeing them. Okay, means it is not possible that we will see the all fish and we will count it. Okay, so in this case we can say that absolute population density is not possible, so we are going with the relative population density. And point number 4, last point, if we talk about the tiger census, underline tiger census, means it is one type of counting of population or the individual of a tiger, means tiger census. You know that the human census board is also there. So tiger census will be done in which and which area? You will remember, in first one is national park and second one is tiger reservoir parks or tiger reservoir centers. So you will remember national parks and tiger reservoirs is often based on pug marks as well as facial pellets. Okay, so you will remember it is possible to count the population of tiger with the help of tiger census in what and what, in national parks and tiger reservoirs, but based upon what, based upon pug marks and the pellets. So this question is completely finished here. Now we will learn or we will revise this question from the textbook. We will underline the important words and you will do round or write to the important points. The size of population tells us a lot about its status in a habitat. Whatever ecological purpose we wish to investigate in a population, be it the outcome of competition with another species, the impact of a predator or the effect of a pesticide application, we always evaluate them in terms of any change in a population size. The size in nature could be as low as less than 10, like Siberian cranes at Bharatpur wetland in any year, or go into millions for the chlamydomonas found in a pond. From now, population size, technically known as population density. Underline population density and sign will be capital N. Need not to necessarily be measured in numbers only. So it is not there that we are going to count or we are going to determine or we are going to measure population density in numbers only. Okay, we can use the different type of other parameters also. Although the total number is generally the most appropriate, yes, it is possible that the most perfect is about the total numbers of population density. It is in some cases either meaningless or difficult to determine. Now see, one example is that in an area, if there are 200 Parthenium grass plant but only a single huge banyan tree with a large canopy, stating that the population density of banyan tree is low compared to relative to the of Parthenium, amounts to underestimating the enormous role of the banyan in the community. In this type of cases, the percent cover or biomass, underline the percent cover or biomass, is more meaningful measure of the population size. The total number is again not easily adopted adoptable measure if the population size is huge and counting is impossible and very time consuming. Okay, now see, sometimes for certain ecological investigations there is no need to know about the absolute population densities, then relative densities serve the purpose equally well. So two types of density are there. First one is, we can say that the absolute population density, second one is relative population density. So if we are not counting with absolute population density, then we can go with the relative population density. Okay, and some examples are there. For example, fish caught per trap is good enough measure of its equal population size density in the lake. And next one is, we are mostly obligated to estimate population size indirectly, okay, not directly, without actually counting them or seeing them. Last one is, tiger census in our national parks and tiger reserves is often based on pug marks as well as pellets. So this question is completely finished here. Thank you very much.